Hello everyone, you're once again welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking in and for watching. To all our old subscribers, thank you so much, and if you are new to this channel, please kindly click on the subscription button to subscribe to our channel, and also on the bell icon to enable you get notified when new tutorials are uploaded. In today's tutorial, we are going to be learning how to make the pleated or gathered turban cap, which is having a Ruffles design attached to it. The materials used for this tutorial include your scuba fabric, your matching color of thread and needle, your scissors, your measuring tape, your gum, and then your appliques, stones, pearls or trimmings, whatever accessory you want to use for embellishment. So having known all that, let's get into it. For this tutorial, the design that we are working on is divided into the turban cap, which is the turban base, that is the gathered or pleated turban cap, of which you can use any other turban cap in place. And then secondly, we have the design, which is in form of a ruffle design, which is going to be attached to the turban cap. You can decide to attach your design at the middle or on any other side of the turban cap. That depends on your preference. Okay, so I have my fabric already cut out and I'll be stating out the measurement. First and foremost, we'll be starting with the turban cap, and then after that we'll proceed with the turban design. So yeah, I'm going to be starting by stating out the measurement I'm going to be using now. I have my fabric here, and this fabric is for my band. For my band, I'm going to be using 5 inches for the width and 23 inches for the length, which is the head circumference. So from this end to this end is 5 inches, while the full length is 23 inches, which is 5 inches by 23 inches for the band. Now for the base, I have my fabric cut out already, and I'm also going to be using 23 inches for the head circumference, like that of the band, while the width is going to be 18 inches. So for my base, I'm using 23 by 18 inches, which is 23 inches for the head circumference and 18 inches for the width. Now, as I haven't done that, get your base, get your measuring tape and your chalk. The way my fabric is positioned from this end to this end is 18 inches, which is the width. I'll take it again. From this point to this point is the 18 inches, the width, while from this end down to this other end is the head circumference, which is 23 inches. To continue, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my measuring tape, and then I'm going to be measuring out 1.5 inch, and I'm going to be marking it. So I'll measure 1.5 inch and mark until I get to the end of the fabric. So I have 1.5 inches here, and I'm going to be marking. I'll continue, measure another 1.5 inch and mark. Continue, I'll take another measurement of 1.5 inches and mark. So this is what I will do till I have gotten to the end. As soon as I've gotten to the end of the fabric, I'm also going to extend this my mark, this my measurement, down to this other end here. So I'll extend it from this point down to this other end. So I'll do that and I'll get back. Having done that, this is what I have. As you can see, my marks, my lines are here, and each interval is 1.5 inch. So this is what I've done. I started from this point and I have it down all the way to the end of my fabric. Now to continue, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and I'm going to be folding it and sewing by half an inch. So I'll pick the first line, fold it down this way, fold it into this way, and sew by half an inch from this end down to the other end. I'll pick the second mark, fold again, sew by half an inch from this point down to the other point. I will come again, pick the third mark, fold it and sew, and then that is how I'm going to sew until I get to the last mark which I have here. That is this last mark here. I would also fold and sew until I get to the end. So I'm going to get this on my sewing machine. I will sew and I will get back sewing, and this is what I get. This is the wrong side of my fabric. Now this was what I meant when I said you pick each line, you fold into two, and you sew from this end down to the other end. You pick the second line, fold into two, and then sew from this, sew by half an inch from this end down to the other end until you get to the end of your fabric. So this is it. This is the back view after stitching, and then this is the front view. So this is how it looks like. This is how my work is. I'm going to continue. I'll get my band, and then I have my band here. I'm going to be folding my band into two this way. So this is it. After folding into two, this is what I get. And then I'm going to be placing my band on the fine side of my base. So I'll fold into two and place on the fine side of my base this way. I'm going to be holding it down using my pins. As soon as I'm done holding it down in place with my pins, this is what I get. This is how it looks like. So this is it from this other side. And then I'm going to place it on my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew from this end. I'll start sewing from this end. I'll sew all the way down to this other end to join my band and my base together. So this gather to band cap is a round band gather to band cap. So I'm going to sew from this end down to the other end, and as soon as I'm done sewing, I'll get back and show us how it looks like. At this point, I've been able to join my band to my base. This is my band and this is my base. This is the back view. This is where I joined the band to the base. So this is how it looks like. And then my band cap is getting ready. To continue, I'm going to be folding my work into two this way. Now I'm going to be joining everything together to form the cap. So I'll place it on my sewing machine, starting from the band. I'm going to sew from this end. I'll sew down. On getting to this end, I'll also take it down this way till I've gotten to this end. So this is how I'm going to sew from this point down. Getting to this point, I'll also take it to this other side till I've gotten to this end here. So I'm going to place it on my sewing machine and sew, then I will get back. Sewing, this is what I get. You can see I started stitching from this way, and getting here I brought it down this way to this very end, and I'm done stitching. This is the back view. Now I'm going to turn it inside out to the front view. So this is it. This is the side that was sewn. The ends are closed and I have this. Now I'm going to get the middle part, and then this is my middle part. This is the middle part of my fabric. Okay, I had to make a fence line so that I can be sure of it. I don't know if you can see it. There's a fence line at the middle here. And then to continue, I'm going to be stitching through the middle part to form my gathers. I will proceed by getting my needle and thread. I have my needle and thread here, and then ensure your thread is doubled so that it can help hold your fabric in place. At the middle point, pass your needle and thread from the back of the fabric, that is from inside the fabric. Bring it out this way. Now take it back inside. It should be very close to where your thread is coming out from. Now take it back inside and then pass your needle and thread to the next line that was sewn. So this is it. I have my needle here and it's out. So what I'm going to do again is that I'm going to repeat the same procedure I did for the first line that was sewn. I'll pass my needle and thread inside again, very close to it, and then bring it out from inside. It's out. And then I'll pass my, so by the time you drag your thread, you see you're already forming your gathers. And then I'll pass my needle and thread again to the third line. Please, it should be at the middle. That was why I made fence lines to guide me. Pass my needle and thread out. And then I'm going to take it back inside, very close. And then bring it out from the fourth line that was sewn. That is the next line that was sewn. And I'll repeat the same procedure until I get to this very end here, the tip here. I've cut off my excess thread and I have my gathers here. So this is going to be the front view of our cap and this is the back view. Now to continue, flip your work to the back, that is turn it inside out to the other side, and then along this edge here, using your needle and thread, we'll be making a running stitch. Now your running stitch comes immediately after the band. We're not making the running stitch on the band, but after the band, that is at this point here, we're going to make a running stitch down to this end and we'll end here. We'll not extend it to this other part. It's going to end here. My needle and thread here. Now starting immediately after the band, I'm going to pass my needle and thread in and I'll start making my running stitches. So I'll just take my needle and thread in, out until I get to the end. Finally, this is what I get. So this is my gathers at the back, my gathers at the front, and then turning it to the front. This is how it looks like. So my gathered turban cap is ready, and then this is the back view, this is the front view. Now for my turban cap, I have mine already made, and then this is the gathered or pleated turban cap. This is it, and then this is the back view. So I'm done with mine. Then coming over to the fabric for the design, I have this piece of fabric here. The measurement for this piece of fabric is 6 inches for the width and then 60 inches for the length. 6 by 60 inches, 6 inches for the width and 60 inches for the length. It's going to be a very long piece of fabric. So that is it. Now when you get your fabric, because it's a very long piece of fabric, we have to fold it into 2 equal halves. Okay, so this is me now. I've folded my fabric into 2 equal halves. Now you are folding with the fine side inside and the wrong side outside facing you, in case your fabric has a fine side and a wrong side. Now after folding, you place both ends this way on your sewing machine and you sew down from one end down to the other end, just as I have done. Okay, so you fold into 2 with the fine side inside and the wrong side outside, and then place this open end. These 2 ends are open. You place it down on your sewing machine and sew while this end is folded. Okay, so after sewing, I'm going to turn my fabric inside out this way. I'm going to turn my fabric this, and this is how this end is. Okay, you can try to secure this end by using your bias tape or using your pinking shear scissors to trim it off, or then weaving this edge in order to give it a neat finishing. That depends on you. Okay, so after turning it inside out, I have it this way, and this is how it is. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to open it up this way, and then I'm going to go ahead to further fold it into 2 equal halves this way. So folding it like this should give me 3 inches in fold. So I folded it into 2 this way. So you have the open end upwards and the folded end downwards this way. So this is how it is. You fold it round till you have folded the entire fabric into 2. What we'll be needing next is a matching color of thread and a needle. Please ensure that your thread has been knotted at the end and it's also doubled, so that your stitches can last for a very long time. So this is it. And then starting from this end, from this sewn part, we are going to be making a running stitch, and our running stitch is going to be at this folded end of the fabric. So we'll start from one point and then make the running stitch round this entire fabric until we come back to where we started from. Now I have my needle and thread here, and then I'll just proceed with making my running stitch at the folded end. Okay, as you make your running stitch across this folded part of the fabric, remember the open part is upwards this way. You have to keep folding your fabric and ensure that it's equal. Okay, that is equal at the edge. And then another thing I want to bring to our notice is the edge. When I was cutting out this 6 inches fabric, I made use of my pinking shear scissors so as to give the edge a different kind of outlook. So if you have access to a pinking shear scissors, you can make use of that, and if you don't, you can as well make use of your normal scissors. So this is me now passing my needle and thread in and out of the fabric. I'll just keep making my running stitch this way until I get to the end of my fabric, and I'm going to go off camera to complete that, and as soon as it's done, I'll get back for us to continue. So this is my work, and I've almost gotten to where I started from. So I'll just keep passing my needle and thread until I get to that part where I started from, and thereafter I'm going to pull my thread. So I'll just pull my thread. You pull depending on how tight you want it to be. So after pulling my thread, you notice that this is how your design comes out to be. You have this kind of allowance at the middle of it, and then the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to be folding it down into 2 this way, so that I have it this way. So I'll just pull. After folding it into 2, you see I have it like this. It has this ruffle-like look on it. So first and foremost, before I continue, I have to first secure this running stitch I made here. So all I have to do is to pass my needle and thread at that spot a couple of times before we proceed with the next step, and that is what I'm trying to do. Now you pull your thread and needle, you pull your fabric depending on how tight you want it to be, because that will determine how small or how big your ruffles turns out to be. Okay, I haven't done that, and then I'll go ahead to fold my work into 2 equal halves this way. So what I'll be doing now is that I'm going to be I'm going to be stitching this open end down so as to secure it. Okay, so as to close this allowance that is here. To do that, I'll just keep passing my needle and thread across the middle part. So this is it. I'm done tacking down this end, and you can see it's now closed. Then this is this other part. This is the open end. So what we're going to be doing next is that we have to attach this down to our turban cap. Okay, so after doing this, now you can as well decide to go ahead to open this up this way. That gives it more ruffles, okay, and makes it look so unique and different. So you can go ahead to open this up this way. You do this around the entire fabric, and then you see it's so puffy. It now has this puffy like look, while this part here remains the wrong side of your design. So right here I have my turban cap, and then you place on it, like I said earlier, you can try to place it at the middle or by the side, either on your right side or on your left side. Then get your dummy head, place it on your dummy head, then so that you can get the fitting, gauge it, use your pins to hold it down, and then get it off your dummy head. Now when it comes to attaching your design on your turban cap, there are always two options. We have the option of making use of your needle and thread to tack down your design down to your turban cap, and then secondly we have the other option of making use of your candle gum and glue gun to glue down your design down to your base. In this case, all I just have to do is to gradually apply gum. Please apply enough gum, and then glue it down at wherever I want it to be. And that is how to attach my design down to my base. And then if I still insist on using my needle and thread to stitch, I'm here to cut out my thread and needle from my design, so I'll just go ahead to stitch it down to the base. So right here I have my design on my dummy head. Although it's not yet joined together, I use my pins to hold it in place so that I can get the fitting for it. And as at now, it's at the middle of my turban cap. Or you can also decide to place it in a way that the user can adjust it so that it can be worn this way with the design at the middle, and also it can also be worn with the design to the side a bit this way, depending on what the user wants. And then this is the front view of it, the side view, and then the back view. So you attach down both together using either your gum or the tacking method with your needle and thread. Now I also have a second piece of this made here, should in case you want a longer piece, that is a bigger design on it. You can try to cut out two different pieces of fabric like I did, or better still cut out just one long piece of fabric. This time I'm needing about 120 or 150 inches for the length. So you can go ahead to place the second one by the side this way. So I'll just use my pins to hold it down and get back. So after attaching down, that is, I just pinned down this second fabric at the side, the second ruffles to it. You see the way it is full, and then that completely covers the side. This is another method or another design you can get from this. So either cut out two different pieces of fabric of 60 inches length, or cut out one long piece of fabric which will be 120 inches length in length, and then you add it to your turban cap. So that is it for that. I'm now going to go ahead to attach my design to my turban cap, and then we'll move on to embellishments. Coming over to embellishments, you'll be needing whatever applique or accessory you want to use, because we have a whole lot of them. I'm also be needing a UHU gum. Now I have this applique here, this accessory here. All I have to do is to apply gum. I'll flip it over to the wrong side, apply gum on it, and then place it on either side of my work, of my turban cap this way, okay, until I get to the end. and that embellishes that part. So I can try to place it on both sides, on one side, depending on how I want it. So that is it for that. And then secondly, I also have these pearls, these small size stones. And then what I need to do now is to get my gum, then flip over to the back, the wrong side, apply gum on it, and then place how and wherever I want it to be. So that is that. And then I'll keep doing this until I'm satisfied with the outcome. And then that is it for this design. So I'm going to go back to completely embellish my design, and as soon as I'm done with all that, I will get back to show us the outlook of our design. But then this is the basics on how to achieving this design.